Go to page 43 of the little blue book. Quote, be aware of what you believe and repeat it over and over. Repeat it loud over and over. Never repeat ideas you don't believe in, even if you're arguing against them. There was a great book out about 10 years ago, and I've quoted it over and over again. If you want to control the argument, you have to control the language. That's not my idea. But I've said it over and over again because it's true. That's how we're being defeated. They control the language, and that's what he's talking about here. That's what he is doing. Their next target, as you can see on theblaze.com in the story on this, he advocates that progressives reclaim the word liberty. Just as I said that we should reclaim the word civil rights. They want liberty. Rather than engage in a debate on socialism versus capitalism, Lakoff urges leftists to say something along the lines of, quote, this debate about liberty. It's a debate about liberty from corporate government and corporate meddling in our lives, the laissez-faire market limits that it puts on your personal liberty. Got it? Corporations limit your personal liberty. Is the left really trying to take the word liberty from us? Oh, yes. It sounds unlikely. How could you possibly do that? Let me give you a couple of examples here of this book in action right now. Here's Van Jones.
Our liberties are under threat. The Tea Party is right. Our liberties are under threat. But their ideology has blinded them to the source of the threat. You see, the Tea Party says Obama is a socialist. The government is trying to take over the economy. Au contraire. The corporations are trying to take over our government. That's the real threat.
Let me give you, that's just a coincidence. Let me give you another quote.
Shouldn't we have the right and the liberty to be energy producers and not be dictated to 12 times a year by energy companies that dictate how much we're going to pay for energy, when we're going to pay it, how many asthma inhalers we're going to have as a consequence? Shouldn't we have the liberty as Americans to power this country in a new way?
Liberty. Dictate. Calling the corporations dictators. And those who want big, powerful government, those who are fighting for liberty. It's Jonah Goldberg, really. I mean, Jonah Goldberg, he points out in his book that one man's freedom fighter, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. No, that's not true. But that's what they're doing. One man's dictator is another man's fighter for liberty. Isn't it amazing? I mean, what are the odds?
If all you care about is individual economic liberty, and you don't give a hoot about justice, you get a different type of tyranny. You get corporate tyranny. No, they say, well, Obama is a socialist, you see. The government is trying to take over the economy. BS. The corporations are trying to take over the government. That's what's happening. Those are the real threats to our liberty.
There's much more on the Blaze, but when you see the new progressive playbook like Saul Alinsky or Cass Sunstein's Nudge, you have to understand it. Later on this week, we're going to have some psychologists and some psychiatrists on the program. I'm going to spend an hour with them on television this week, talking exactly about this kind of thinking. And how do you combat it? Because what they've done is they've gotten the best philosophical minds, the best advertising minds, the best Hollywood minds, and the best psychological minds. Put them together, and I mean, this is Goebbels' stuff. And by the way, Goebbels said he learned it from Woodrow Wilson's administration. So don't tell me about, throwing around Nazis. Okay, I'll just throw around the Woodrow Wilson administration because that's who taught it to Germany. According to Germany. They say that's why they lost World War I, because we had a better psychological advertising campaign. And so they got good at it. That's exactly, the world is being taught new tricks. Jedi mind tricks. You have to commit and you have to activate. We all know, and I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, let me tell you this. I believe that there is a chance that we have a reprieve coming. We will pay the price. But I believe that there is a chance that we have kind of a Joseph moment where you get 7 years of fatted calves and then 7 years of real starvation. There is a chance that we have 5, 7, 10 years maximum chance that Mitt Romney comes in and he is a good enough economics guy that he pops the hood on this thing and he juices this car enough through capitalism, not through the Fed, not through anybody else. There's a chance that he does it. He releases the power and the ingenuity of the American people. And we get a reprieve. We will again pay for the price of this debt at some point. The question is, when do we pay for it? It's a matter of when, not if. When do we pay for it? If we elect Barack Obama one more term, it will be over. Look at the things that they're doing in the UN. Look at what they're doing on gun control. Look at what they're doing on global taxes. Look at what he's doing on global gun control. Look what he's doing on the borders. Look what he's doing with the Muslim Brotherhood. We don't survive another term of Barack Obama. We don't. Don't assume somebody else is going to do this work for you. This is it. Now is the time that will try men's souls. Are you a sunshine patriot, or are you somebody who is going to activate themselves, make sure you're registered, make sure everybody in your family is registered, make sure that all your friends in your church are registered? Go to glennbeck.com, hit on the big 1, 2, 3, 4, hit the number 2, which is activate. Make sure you can search right now. Are you registered? You can search all your friends. Go take your handbook from your church and look at that. Find out. Put their names in. Find out if they're registered. If they're not, send them an email. Tell them to get registered right away. Anywhere from 14 to 30% of the American people are not registered, and they think they are 14%. 30% of conservative Christian organizations, on the average, this is an astounding number, 30% of Christian conservative organizations are not registered to vote. You cannot win the war of ideas if you don't understand their tactics and you're not committed to being able to fight those tactics with facts and finesse. You can't win if you're not committed and activated, because they are using Jedi mind tricks. Admittedly so.